An economist by education, she spent her career at the intersections of airline business development, banking, social media, leadership, and technology. We present to you the director of Spark.me, one of the biggest tech business conferences in Southeast Europe, Natasa Djukanovic.
Hi everybody, I'm Natasa and I work as a marketing manager for domain.me. So .me is a country code top-level domain for Montenegro, like .al is for Albania. We were lucky to get the domain, but most of our customers come from the US. So it's a completely different market and we do everything from Montenegro. So maybe you know, last weekend we had elections in Montenegro. And the worst part of the elections is that you have to see all the advertisements before that. And it's not just normal advertising, it's something that they push towards you and it's really annoying. So I was trying to avoid all the TVs, radios and everything that comes, even YouTube, because you know, the advertising before the YouTube video. So it's really annoying. The biggest problem for me is that lots of people would say political marketing. And marketing is not advertising, you know that, right? Advertisement is just like tip of the iceberg. It's just at the top of everything we're doing. Just a little part. Sometimes we get attached too much on the ads because the companies we work for, they want to see the ads. I had a friend whose boss only understood advertising as a part of marketing, so she would put like a billboard in front of his house so that he sees a billboard when he goes to the office. That's advertising. It's too much, it's annoying, and nobody's looking at it. The biggest problem with digital marketing is that only 6 in 10,000 people click on a banner. So we are here to speak about digital marketing, and one big part of that is digital advertising. 6 in 10,000 people click on a banner. You probably have seen that. The other thing is that 60% of people, when they click on a mobile ad, it's by accident. I do that all the time. And the third thing is that lots of people started using a tool that stops all the ads from showing up. So 42% in Europe, in UK is 60%. It's a lot. So what do we as marketers can do, especially in the digital era for marketing? We have to fight banner blindness. This is an evolution of the humankind to just delete the banners. We don't see billboards anymore. We do not see banners on websites. Can you remember any of the banners you've seen today or the day before? How often do you click on a banner? I never. Except when a political advertising because I want them to spend the money. So the next thing, which is really important and what I'm sure everybody in marketing business relies on is numbers, like reports. So I'm mentioning Google Analytics today, and my friend Miroslav is going to talk about analytics a little bit more. This is just how it looks like when you have lots of money to put in ads. The orange line, the blue line is like regular traffic. So as soon as you stop pulling the money for the paid ads, the traffic goes down. Also, the people who come, it's here, people who come to the website, they stay only 30 seconds on your website. That's not enough time to deliver the message. Can you sell anybody something for 30 seconds? No. So we need to focus more on what's behind, what's more than just paid ads. So advertising, yes, we have to do it. We know it's kind of good for certain things, but it's not everything. It's just a little piece of everything we're doing. The whole process behind it, that's marketing. So advertising, there are lots of different definitions, so I'm not going there. Advertising is to inform the audience about your existence. You want to bring them in. And marketing is keeping them there or having them come back again. That's important. So how do we do that? We have to convince them, and convincing is very challenging. There is the only way that we can do it today in digital world by telling a story. You've all heard about storytelling. You all know what it is because it existed forever. You have to say the story about your product, about your company. That's kind of hard when you're selling something boring like pipes or domains like we do. So I'm trying to give you, I will give you an example of what we have done, our marketing campaign, about domains. So domains are boring. What's a domain? It's just an address. How much of a story can you say about a domain? So let's go through the process of how to create the story. So I'm going to show you examples, which I've never shown to anyone before. So Darko asked me to give concrete examples because I like to see examples. So I think you would like it also. So the process is first create a goal. Think about what do you want to achieve. You want your customers to read what you give to them, or to watch or to listen to what you give to them and come back for more. You are not pushing advertising to them. You are not forcing them to see it. They will come and they should stay. So your goal is to bring them in, to educate them, inform them, to pretend that you are smart. That's thought leadership. Also, you can be entertaining. You know how many entertaining content marketing campaigns are around us. So our goal in our campaign that we've done was actually educating customers, because a lot of people just don't know what a domain is or what can they do with that. Our goal was to position ourselves as thought leaders, to show them that we are smart, that we know what we are doing, and that's based on trust. So the second thing is target market, or personas. You probably already heard about personas or have personas in your companies or for the companies you work for. So it's not just demographics and geographics. There's so many more things that connect us as human beings than just age or gender or geographics or where we live. So for me, for us, the most important thing is understanding of the process of making a decision. When somebody wants to buy your product, what kind of a process happens in their heads? That's their behavior, their values, where they live, and how do they go to the office, for example. So also you have to think about the process, but also the things that affect their way of thinking. So our example is we realize that lots of people are bothered by what happens when they Google themselves. Do you ever Google yourself, like your name in Google? Of course. Yeah, lots of people don't do it, but once they do, they get really nervous because something is out there that they don't want to see there, especially in the US. So they have to control their online identity, especially young people who are looking for a job, and they know that a recruiter is going to check on them on Google. So you have to have the best part of yourself online. So we have done that was like the first information that we got, and then we've done a survey on the US market, mostly for millennials, because the people who are looking for a job. And we published the survey. So the next thing is the message. So we now know who are the people we are talking to, and we know we want to help them actually we want to be thought leaders to help them how to control their online identity. So the message that we are delivering to them, it has to be a personal connection with them, and we have to go for their emotions. Personal connection would be something like if you are working for a bank and then you're writing a blog post, you're not going to promote your savings like we are the best bank, we are very secure, our interest rates are the best. When you're doing content marketing, you will probably have to say a story about how you are raising your children and how you have to teach them how to do savings, and the blog post about it. So parents, you connect to their emotion to their children, and that's a personal connection because they will identify themselves with you. So then our message was actually, we went for fear. So fear is a very strong emotion. But when you're going for fear, you have to give them a solution, not just let them be afraid there. You're not just saying, this is a very big problem, you have to Google yourself, you have to control your online identity. But we are actually giving them a solution. What do? You create a personal website. And the personal website, that's where the connection with our company comes on .me. So it should be like, I know, it's marketing. So we give them a solution and we connect the solution with our product. So this kind of storytelling gives results, but actually the most important thing is how do you distribute the message? And you know that's the most expensive part. So we created a series of blog posts around that on our blog. We spoke with influencers, this is one of the stories on our blog. We spoke with influencers, bloggers in the US, and they wrote articles about, they actually really understood what we were speaking about. Some of them were parents of millennials, so they had to teach their children how to control their online identity. We've done also a Twitter chat where we had 20 million impressions, so lots of people joined the Twitter chat and asked for help on how to do it, how to solve their problem. We also hired an SEO specialist who gave them advice. That was really followed. Then all the story got picked up by the media, and this is completely free. So this is earned media. So Inc. magazine, you probably heard about it, wrote 2 stories about the survey, and also they gave their advice for the users. They have 13 million subscribers, paying subscribers. The next is Glamour. So Glamour is definitely not somebody we were really interested in getting our story to, but they have 2.5 million paid circulation, like in printed media. They have had their own article with our infographic in it. The next is USA Today. So they had this printed version, like it's not homepage, it's the front page of the printed newspaper. They had this little part, like statistics from our survey. They published it 4 days in a row. That was a huge, number of impressions for us, reach. This is another. And also Forbes. Forbes is really big, and when they deliver your story, it's really important. But that's not it. Like, what are impressions? Like, some people read it, see it, they don't actually care of what you are saying. So there are so much more in terms of KPIs and the results. So, going back to Google Analytics. So this is, the blue line is our traffic on our website in 2016, first quarter, and the orange is the year before, also on a quarterly basis. So the spike at the beginning is when we started with the campaign. So we had lots of traffic, referral traffic from different sources. And what's really important for content marketing is that you invest in a story once, and then you get results through the time later on. So we today, after 9 months or 10 months, we have 30% more traffic because of these kinds of events, these kinds of campaigns. So it's not the same as for advertising, like you give the money and when you stop giving the money, everything goes down. You just create a story and people start coming and they come back again for more, or new people come, because that's an evergreen story speaking about your online identity. This is how the paid traffic looks like. So the orange line is the line that shows how much we paid for the paid advertisement. So we should do sometimes paid advertising. It's not everything, it's just a little part of it. It didn't even affect a lot our traffic. It did a little bit, but not much. What's really more important is that paid traffic, people who came from banners, stayed a minute, almost the same time as other people who came. So they came and they stayed. They read something. So, in terms of investment in marketing, companies invest 62% less in content marketing and they have 3 times better results. And our story actually proves that. We know in terms of money how much we invested in content marketing comparing to advertising. It really pays off. And what's more important, it pays off on a long term. So you pay today, but then you know it will stay for long. Sometimes we have visitors coming like 3 years after the campaign. So that's a good investment, right? This graph is my favorite report that shows where do people come from on our website. So the first line is organic search. So half of the people who come to our website come there because of SEO. SEO almost equals content marketing. So half of people who come to our website come because of good content. After that is referrals. So referrals because we got mentioned in other media, on other blogs. And then paid is just display, it's like 10%. Paid search and display is like around 10%. The paid advertising. So I was just going to give you a short advice on what do you do and how do you start working on content marketing. Or if you are already in content marketing, you always have to go back to the basis, like meet your customers. So the best example of meeting and speaking to your customers is actually going to the green market. Like you see how those ladies who sell their fruit talk to their customers. They want to understand what do they want. They really need to understand what's the process of how do people go and buy their product, not somebody else's, their product. So this is where the story comes. If you talk to your customer, they will give you an idea what's your next piece of content going to be. So I go to lots of conferences around the world, and our biggest source of ideas is not me, it's the people I talk to. So even today I spoke with a guy here who has a .me domain, and that's amazing. For me, I mean, okay, Albania is very close to Montenegro, but Albania is small. Montenegro is even smaller. When I go to, I don't know, South America, I meet people who have a .me. Every time I talk to them and ask them, how did you come up with the idea to buy a .me? And you know what they say? Personalization. So not because we are selling .me domains. There are so many other domains. They speak about personalization. That's our message. That's what our product delivers as a message. The next thing and the last thing is how to continue. So we can all start and create one story and work on it, and it's hard. But then the next thing is actually you continue working on it by just reading a lot, talking to your customers a lot, and never stop studying. That's the only message that I have for everybody in every business, especially marketing, is never stop learning. Today we have Facebook, and we have directed lots of our funds on Facebook or Google. What happens if Facebook dies? What if you have to start doing another network like Snapchat or something else in a couple of years? Something else will show up, definitely, maybe be more successful. So if you go back to the roots of what marketing is in traditional, old-fashioned way, if you know the basis, it's very easy to just use different channels. Today is Facebook, Snapchat, tomorrow is something else. So people now say that marketing is easy, like you just go on Facebook and put something there and that's fine. But when you actually have to start working on it, you see the numbers. The people who know how to do it, they have good numbers. Other people, you know, not really good. So if you have any questions, I'm not sure if I have time for questions. Darko? Thank you. Fali Menderi.